Oh dear. Right, so welcome to the first episode of
A Canny Talk.
We're not going to explain, because we might have people who aren't for the Northeast Finland subscribers. We're not going to explain what the word canny means, because we'll be here for 3 hours.
I feel like it's kind of
it's got too many explainings.
Yeah.
Explainings. It's got too many definitions.
Mm-hmm.
Too many uses.
Explanations. Yeah.
So we were going to do this podcast, and we were going to start off by introducing ourselves, but I thought I'm Shaun. That's Key.
Yeah. I mean, if this will be the first thing we'll upload, won't it?
Yeah. So you will see our thing up there. And I thought, the first episode of this should probably be introductory, but I thought, because probably not. The best thing to do is to talk about something that's relevant and, in the media at the minute, because that's the way podcasts work, and you target it so people can watch it when they're searching things. So we're going to talk about something that we've both been quite shocked by. I think you already know what I'm talking about. And it's not a very nice subject, because it's just not. But we are going to talk about it anyway. So we are both fans of a company called Rooster Teeth, aren't we?
Mm-hmm.
If you don't know who Rooster Teeth are a production company based on YouTube who make started off as a machinima style thing where they made series and stuff.
Red vs. Blue is probably one of the most recognisable one, yeah.
And Ruby.
Ruby, yeah.
They have a bunch of sort of gaming based channels, which if you're watching this on the day that it comes out, you won't know yet, but we are going to be something of a gaming channel as well. But we aren't sort of niching ourselves to only gaming.
No, we'll be doing all sorts of stuff, gaming, movies, blah, 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 blah.
And they have been in the news recently.
A lot. Mm-hmm.
A lot, yeah, because I'll just try and give you a series of events that happened. So on Sunday, I think it was, there was a nude leak from 2 of the members of Rooster Teeth, one from a channel called Funhouse and one from a channel called Achievement Hunter. Adam Kovic from Funhouse and Ryan Haywood from Achievement Hunter. Both basically had about 400 pictures and videos leaked of themselves. And it was supposedly, the worst thing about it is that it was supposedly part of a undercover operation where someone pretended to be an underage teenager.
She was underage, but she pretended to be older.
No, this was a woman pretending to be underage. That's how the leak happened. So it was someone talking to Adam Kovic from Funhouse, pretending to be underage, and he gave her basically the entire contents of his Google Drive, which contained, for some reason, nudes of him as well as nudes from Ryan Haywood.
Well, no, apparently this is 2 separate things. She got them from both of them.
Yeah.
Not only did it have nudes of himself, but also of his wife.
Yeah. So then what happened a few days later was Rooster Teeth announced that they were partnering with 2 of the employees.
Mm-hmm.
But Ryan Haywood came out and said that he was leaving. He just said that he'd left to go and work on his family.
Yeah.
And then it turned out that most of the women that Ryan had been having an affair with were underage when he was sleeping with them. The worst thing about this whole thing from Adam and Ryan is that they were both married. It's worse in Ryan's case because he also had kids, and he'd also been married a lot longer.
Yeah.
So at this point, there's been 5 women who've come out and said that they slept with Ryan. I've got notes here. So there's been 5 accusers. 3 of them have hard proof, i.e. 2 of them had pictures of them in a hotel with them. The other had nudes and stuff. And 2 of them were underage when
it happened.
When they slept with them. One of them didn't have any proof at all, just said that it happened. Obviously, as you've already said, Adam Kovic, the other one from Funhouse, his wife was in some of the pictures. And as far as
there's been no proof of whether or not she was consenting of that.
She was consenting to it, yeah. Which is, if that's the case, then that's a gigantic breach of trust as well.
Yeah. Apparently there were videos as well.
Yeah, there was.
So
obviously this sort of, we're talking about this because it's not something that's nice. You know, because YouTube's obviously a big medium now where a lot of people are wanting to be YouTubers, ourselves included. And what this does is it shows how easy people can be manipulated from people who are doing it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So it's like, one of the worst parts about Ryan's as well is that a lot of most of the lasses seem to have mental illnesses, who are sort of vulnerable and all that stuff, which is not a very nice thing. And I'm going to tell you something later on that's really going to upset you, because it upset me about Ryan. Obviously, the hard thing about this for you and me is that we were both fans. I think you were more a fan of Achievement Hunter, and I was more of a fan of Funhouse.
I watched both. I think I was just more.
Yeah, you're more.
I'd seen more of Achievement Hunter stuff. Yeah.
But it's not very nice because, you know, they've both come out and made, you know, tweets, and Ryan's actually just tweeted something today that I'll read to you in a minute. But Adam came out and he's privatised all his accounts now, so you can't follow him or anything. And he basically said that he's let Jess down. Jess is his wife. And the idea of being is, one of my first things was, I don't know why either of those women would stay with him. I can't see them wanting to stay with him. Why?
I know. I mean, if it was, I feel like if it was if it was me or if it was you that it happened to, we would just be like, yeah, you know, the hell with you.
Yeah.
But the only thing that I can think of, and this is with Ryan, is the fact that they have kids.
Yeah.
And I would imagine that he would want to try and keep the family together, which obviously, I mean, but at the same time, it's like, I would like to think she would leave him. I'd like to think she would, but you also don't know because they have a family.
Obviously, yeah, that's the thing that we don't know about it, isn't it? Is that we don't know what it's like to have a family that's been sort of ruptured by something like that.
I mean, there are a lot of people that would try and keep the family together, you know.
So what it seems to be from Ryan's point of view is that most of the lasses were fans. So he's essentially taken advantage of his popularity.
Which I think is a lot of the reason why a lot of the people he worked with at Achievement Hunter was so mad.
Yeah, he's taken advantage of the community basically that they've built. Did you read Jack's response?
No, I didn't read that.
Had me in tears.
Is that what you're going to read?
No. It's something that he's done that was the worst thing about it. You know, and it's weird that people are now saying, well, it's good that they've come out and they've made comments, but like famous hard case Denise Welsh said, no, they made comments because they were caught. Yeah. I don't think that at any point they were planning on coming out and talking about this. It was the leak that's caused it.
Yeah, it's a shame because you wouldn't, like, as fans ourselves, we didn't expect it.
No.
Because I was at work, and you texted me, and you were like, Ryan and Adam's been let go from Rooster Teeth, and I was like, what? Why? Literally, like, stopped what I was doing to, like, have a look.
That's the thing. When I messaged you, it was on the Sunday, which this was this previous Sunday as we're recording this.
Yeah.
And at that point, all that had happened was the news.
It was just what they had announced, and it was all coming out as we were texting. And
I texted you basically saying they've been let go. And when you said why, I said because they've had 400 nudes leaked.
Yeah.
So I didn't even know at that point that women had come out. The
women hadn't come out at that point. People hadn't, like.
Yeah.
It was literally just happening, and it was just.
I can imagine this podcast is going to make a lot of people not like me because I'm going to say some things that people probably won't like. And one of them is, one of the lasses who's made a video was an absolute idiot. She's a victim, and I understand that, and I'm not going to sit here and pretend that Ryan isn't to blame, because 100% he's a swear word, right? But if you remember, if any of you watched that Michael Jackson documentary, right, where those two lads came out and said that Michael Jackson diddled them, and the parents of one of them sat there and went, oh yeah, I just let my 6-year-old son go and share a room with a 40-year-old man 17 halls across the way, like, just because they said they were going to jump on a bed. I said, well, you know what, you deserve to be in prison as well because you're a bloody idiot.
Yeah.
But this lass thought that she could save Ryan's marriage, right? And she said this, she said just when they were messaging each other, that she thought she could save Ryan's marriage if she slept with him because he wasn't getting anything physical from his wife, so they could stay together as long as she was supplying the physicality that he needed, and that was it. And she was 16 at the time, and it was like, I was sat there going, why?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I mean, I understand she might have had something mentally wrong with that, but
There was
yeah,
there was
can't wrap my head
one.
around that.
I know there was one that a lot of people, because everyone's kind of like that. Everyone's like, yeah, he's like, obviously it was awful. He's a bad person, but one of the girls that like had proof that it happened. One of our friends had commented on like I guess like a video she made saying, "Oh wow, you've just destroyed that man's family," like with a smirk face, like an emoji, and she commented being like, "Oh, yeah, I know I did,"
Yeah,
and like it made it seem like it was a joke, and a lot of people haven't been happy about that because
that's the thing as well, right? Is that you have women and men, because people who don't think that men can be raped are ridiculous.
Yeah.
You have real victims of these things who are like people who weren't looking for things like that to happen, and it did happen. Who are now, their lives have been shattered by being a victim of something like that. Half of these are the lasses seeking something with Ryan. 3 out of the 5 were lasses who were actively trying to get him to be sexual toward them, and it was like, right, so Ryan and his family have been destroyed by this, right? Well, not Ryan, I don't really care about Ryan because he's the idiot here. His family has been destroyed by this.
Yeah, his wife and his kids are the victims.
His career's gone. Yeah, I can't imagine he'll do anything internet related after this. His wife must be absolutely devastated. Who also, his wife and his kids have been getting threats, which is ridiculous. And if you're one of those people, you are a dick.
Why? I don't know.
The last thing they need is to be getting threat because they think that they're taking Ryan away, don't they? Because he's got all his fans. And it's one of these things where I just, obviously Ryan's the bad guy in this, and I just don't understand if you're a fan of his why you would actively pursue something that is going to destroy his career.
Yeah, and if they know he has like a family, and he has a wife and stuff.
Like the thing with Adam's, with Adam's case is that, obviously there's nothing illegal about cheating on your spouse. That's not illegal. It's just you're a bit of a dirtbag if you do. The worst thing about that is whether or not it was consensual.
Between the stuff that was released of her as well.
Yeah. She commented. Someone said that was it consent? It was someone commented on it, basically saying like that she was obviously going to divorce Adam, which I would understand if she did, and she went, well, enjoy the show, and it was kind of like. And then she asked them, because everyone's talking about her, to buy her merch. So it's kind of like, I don't know if it's consensual or not. If it is, then she is as much to blame as he is. In my opinion, I don't think it was consensual.
Well, maybe what some people have been saying is that maybe it was consensual for the photos and videos to be taken, but it wasn't consensual of them being released.
Yeah.
And so therefore, it still wasn't consensual, but it was in their relationship, but not for the distribution.
Well, one of them, I know, there was definitely a picture of them doing something. That's what I've seen.
Right, there's a video of them doing something as well.
Yeah, but there's one where they were in like a cupboard sort of space that they had, and he took a picture of himself, and there was a picture of her sort of not looking, like she was turned away, which is the sort of one where people are going, okay, that's not consensual at all.
Yeah.
So it's kind of it's if it's not consensual, then obviously she's a victim as well. And whatever will come of that, we'll find out. But it's just an awful situation because obviously with both of us being fans, I was more of a fan of Funhouse because I like it's more adult comedy. But that's the other part of this as well, is that now we can't, as fans and for the rest of the community that enjoyed their stuff, they can't watch the videos now without feeling guilty about it.
Yeah.
I can't watch Adam in a Funhouse video. Well, you said it. I can't watch a Funhouse video now with Adam in it without sort of going, oh, well,
and especially because those two, for the respective channels, were like there from pretty much the beginning of the YouTube channels. Like they were like some of they were core members. And
Adam especially like basically helped make Funhouse.
Yeah.
Ryan came in a bit afterwards,
but was still there for a number of years and was in a lot of
time.
Not just videos on the Achievement Hunt channel, but like the Rooster Teeth channel, and did shows and stuff on the website, and it's kind of like you can't really.
It's one of those, it's like, and in Ryan's case, the worst thing about it is that he makes creepy jokes, which obviously before this was just kind of like, oh, he's just joking and he's
well, a lot of people, it appeared to be his kind of humour.
Yeah, like he was the sort of the psycho one. That was his crack.
That was his like gimmick, is what we should call it. It was like the character he played. He was referred to as the Mad King because he apparently was a bit weird. Yeah. And that was his character. Yeah. Because
people have to understand when you know, obviously we're not YouTubers yet because we're still starting out, but but we have recorded a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
When you make videos, you're in a character.
You try to form a character based on the video you make.
There might be things that are sort of
real
elements of it that are true, but it's not like.
Well, like when we do reaction videos and like stuff we're reacting to as ourselves.
Yeah.
And like when we're talking about geeky stuff, that is who we are.
But especially gaming videos.
Ones, like there's. I don't know if it'll be out yet. There's a video where like I'm like.
Be out when this comes up.
Yeah, there's a video, I won't say what video, where like I'm like, oh yeah, genocide, and I'm like all for it, but I am not that person.
We're not that, yeah.
That is obviously a character I'm playing for that video, but but there are a lot. Yeah, he does make a lot of jokes, and when you're watching like the videos, you kind of like.
Now it's something that's awkward to watch because
you know
what he's doing, and obviously the other bad thing as well is that, you know. In Ryan's case, there's only 5 women who've come out at this point. Adam's case is that we don't know how that's going to turn out because obviously the nudes that came from him came from someone pretending to be underage.
Yeah.
So they basically entrapped him, which is kind of like that wouldn't stand up in court because he was trapped. He was entrapped.
I think there was a case like that for Ryan as well. I think apparently there's a person who catfishes not just people that have a platform to try to get stuff from them. And so, isn't that not technically illegal? That is. So that person came out with a lot of nudes and stuff. So, it really, they've kind of, you know, like imprisoned themselves, really, haven't they? Because there's kind of, I feel like there's a split. There's a lot of people who just, yeah, it's an awful thing, but let's, you know, I don't want to think about it anymore. There are a lot of people who are like, hold on a second. Why is this person being like getting off scot-free for catfishing them? Because that's. And then release the stuff. Isn't it just illegal to distribute nudes without consent?
Oh, well, that's illegal. Without consent, yeah.
So technically, that's illegal for them to leak them.
Yeah, but it's weird that
there's a lot of illegal stuff going on. I can't keep up.
But from, you know, there's obviously obvious victims in here. Obviously, the ones that Ryan slept with. Ryan's family are the victims. Adam's wife's a victim if it's not consensual because we don't know.
Yeah. Even then, though, just actually cheated.
Also, all the people that they worked with as well are also giant victims.
Because it could have ruined the company, and I don't think a lot of people realise that.
Yeah.
It's put a bad name on the company. There's a lot of people that came out and said, "Oh, well, this is the downfall of Rooster Teeth."
And the thing is, that's a lot of people coming out and saying, "Well, they're just gonna get rid of Funhouse and Achievement Hunter now from Rooster Teeth." And Rooster Teeth are owned by Warner Media, I think it is. They're owned by, but it's because the reason people are saying that is because the videos have gone from being 2 a day on Funhouse to 1 to 3 a week in Funhouse, and it's the same on Achievement. It's about 3 a week, and they're not doing any live streams.
The thing,
but the reason,
that's fine.
I think people need to understand the reason for that is both channels do what we've done, which is they come up with a stockpile, and then they just release it whenever they can.
They need,
and they obviously are not going to release anything with Adam
or
Ryan in, and you can imagine both of them are very prevalent.
Like we said, they were the core members of the respective channels. So
their stockpile is basically, probably more than halved. It's probably being completely destroyed by this. So they're having to rebuild that stockpile because Rooster Teeth aren't going to get rid of 2 of their most lucrative channels.
Especially when one of the founders of Rooster Teeth, Jeff Ramsey, was the one that made Achievement Hunter and Let's Play. They have 2 channels. Funhouse is probably one of the most popular channels along there with Achievement Hunter. They're not going to get rid of them. The issue that Funhouse have is that now there's literally James and Elise. They have 2 members, and then the rest aren't full-time members, are they?
No.
That's the problem they have. So they're probably going to have to get more members in, whereas Achievement Hunter, they have the permanent members, and they also have semi-permanent that.
Yeah.
So they're fine.
So with Funhouse, they'll probably be going, right, okay, so James and Elise are obviously the 2
men.
They're the 2 main personalities left. Then they've got Lindsay, who's just coming from Couch Up, who's
Yeah.
going to have to be a big personality now. Alana, who's only on a half contract.
But they'll probably try and get her permanent, I'd imagine.
And the likes of John Smith are going to have to really sort of...
Well, they're going to have to
and
decide.
Jacob,
They're going to have to decide whether or not they want to take them off editing and stuff and put them on there, or if they're going to keep them semi-permanent.
Yeah, but it's like I said. Now they're all being investigated as well, because the idea was this a larger thing. Most of them obviously haven't.
There's also a thing of, did they know?
Yeah.
Because they work so close with them and they were genuinely friends behind the videos. Were they aware that this was happening? Like the stuff that was going on in the hotels with like Ryan and stuff that we talked about, that was for events. A lot of the time it was for like events that everyone was involved in, so people were thinking, well, were they not at the same hotel and did they not see it happen and know that was happening?
Yeah.
So by the sounds of it, they didn't know, because they said they were shocked when they found out. So
well, most of them have come out, not only condemned Ryan, but they've also said things like they treated him like family.
That they're like in his house and stuff.
Yeah, and
like,
they had them over their
Lindsay
house.
and Michael, like the kids and stuff. Like you would like interact with the kids and like I know that must feel horrible.
The likes of Jack's statement was that basically they've just shattered the trust of all the community that they've helped to build. And obviously Jack's the because he's essentially like a dad
Jack's
to all
the
of them,
dad,
isn't he?
dad figure of the
And it's
yeah.
It's hard to think that someone could do that. But my thing that I thought with it was, Ryan said that he's only ever been with one woman, and it was his wife. And it was that sort of thing, was now he's on a platform where he's held up on this pedestal of everyone sort of loves him, and he's just taking advantage of having other women interested in him. That's what he's
Well,
doing.
that's the big thing, is that Ryan was one of the people that a lot of the women in the community liked. Yeah, him and like a few others, and I guess Adam probably as well. And he always kind of made it seem like he was, like, oh, that's creeping me out a bit that people have that view towards me. That was like a part of his like thing, and obviously.
But that's the one of the horrible things about it is that, it's a platform for someone to make funny stuff that they're trying to do, especially if that's the kind of channel you're going for, which is what they are. And it is what we are as well. And I promise more podcasts in the future will be a bit more lighthearted.
And
a bit more lighthearted. But with this, it's kind of, we just wanted to talk about something that's actually been in the news on the internet.
It's worth us saying, the reason why this was so like awful for us is that I don't really watch any other YouTube channels. I literally will just watch the Rooster Teeth stuff, Achievement Hunter stuff, Let's Play, and Funhouse. That's it. I don't really.
Occasionally, I'll watch like Markiplier or PewDiePie.
Like Markiplier has that Honest Honest thing that I like to watch. Yeah. Like, so I'll watch other stuff, but that is like my main thing.
Yeah.
And now it's like you say, I can't go back and rewatch old stuff because I'm like, they're not uploading newer stuff because they can't really. They're obviously working on building up the stockpile, and probably a lot of them are probably feeling a bit down and don't really want to record.
Oh, absolutely, there will be.
So I'm like, I don't.
It's been a very dark day for Rooster Teeth, and they've had. I didn't realise this until I was looking into it, but they've had a lot of stuff come out about them recently, especially this year, about the way the company is run.
Yeah.
Since the founders left.
I know, I've seen that. Yeah.
Things like Mika Burton came out and said that there's a bit of a racist element to the workplace, which is quite awful.
That was happening with this whole Black Lives Matter thing. That stuff came out.
Then one of the guy who was the CEO last year, I think, I can't remember what his name is, got accused of domestic violence towards his wife.
I think he got arrested, didn't he?
He did get arrested, and it wasn't even like there was next to no evidence about that, but he got sacked straight away. With this, there's been circumstantial evidence, and they didn't get sacked straight away. I
think what they did was it seems like they actually investigated it first, which is what you have to appreciate, is that it wasn't just like, oh my god, there's something coming out about them, we need to get rid of them. It appears that they did actually investigate before, which I guess is a good thing.
It's an awful thing. I've got some things here that we're going to talk about as well. So one of the things is that about 1 or 2 months ago, Bruce Green left Funhouse, and he got a big send off, which was a nice thing, because Bruce was like
the boss man.
He was essentially the boss, and he was like the liaison between Rooster Teeth and Funhouse, and his job was to make sure that everyone was in like good spirits and everyone was
Yeah.
happy in the workplace, was a good environment and all that stuff. And he left and he got a really big send off. But then maybe 1 or 2 weeks later, Lawrence Sonntag left and didn't get a big send off. He just left.
They didn't even talk about it. He just stopped being in videos.
Yeah, and it was like a lot of people were kind of like, we don't because Lawrence was one of the founders of Funhouse as well. He was like one of the main members. He was with them at Inside Gaming before they became Funhouse. And a lot of people were sort of saying, well, something must have happened.
Yeah.
So there was already that air of sort of what's happened with Funhouse. Because when Bruce left, his job essentially got split between all of the rest of the main ones.
Yeah.
So the thing that I was reading was saying that Bruce was able to sort of keep Adam in check at certain ways. Lawrence couldn't. And when they were when that power got divided, was it that Adam didn't think that he needed to be in check for Lawrence and all the rest of them, you know?
Well, because when this whole thing was going on with Adam, Lawrence put out a tweet, didn't he, that was very
It was
suggestive,
yeah.
should we say,
it will be here somewhere. You'll see it.
Of what of what happened.
Something like "Who's laughing now" was the last sort of line of it.
It was basically song lyrics,
and the last lyric was something like
"Who's laughing now?"
And it was
and all the song lyrics that I used, it's like, where were you when
the walls came
down on me? Now they're burning on you, or something like that.
Yeah, and it's one of them things where people are kind of going,
it's very
we want to know what's happening, because if there's a larger scheme at work here, we need to know what it is.
Yeah.
As fans. But then there's also Raoul Cooley, who was a part-time producer.
Who left, didn't he?
Who left, but a few days after the leaks happened, before it all came out, basically said he wasn't a part of Funhouse anymore, and he just sort of dropped that on everyone. Had nothing to do with the nudes, and then he showed a picture of Adam on Twitter, had blocked him. So people are also
thinking there's something happened.
What's happened there?
It's created a lot of question around what was Adam like behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Was he the problem maker of the group? But I mean, you don't know.
That's the thing we're speculating at the minute, and
we're just talking about what other people are talking about.
Yeah, we're trying to sort of. I mean, that's what fans are trying to do at this point in time now, and they're trying to piece together why this has happened.
I feel like there's going to have to be something that they do. Either they talk about it, or they're going to have to address it, because they can't not.
Yeah.
It's too big, especially when it's.
I've been paying attention to like every single Rooster Teeth channel, waiting for someone to say something.
Because I'm just waiting for like a Chamberlain Hunter to do a podcast talking about it.
Either a podcast or just a
video.
Clip of video.
And then I'm waiting for, because Funhouse, they can't not.
Can't ignore. Yeah.
It's not like when it's someone like, if it was someone that you didn't see, like an editor that you never saw, or someone behind the scenes that you didn't see, it wouldn't be as big of a deal, I don't feel like, because we never got to see them. But because it's like one of the main kind of personalities, it's like, well,
that's what I mean. It's that's why everyone's sort of waiting to see what's happening.
Said.
And the thing is, it's obviously we'd never seen Laurie before, who was Ryan's wife.
Yeah.
We don't know what she was like, but when Ryan would speak about her in videos before, it would always seem like he was the perfect husband, and he was nice to all his kids and all that stuff.
There's only ever one time that we ever really heard anything of Laurie, and that was Ryan called her during a video.
Yeah.
Asking her a question, because she was like a vet or something. Asking her a question about like an animal. But then she made a joke about, did I just win us some money or something?
Yeah.
So a lot of fans were like, oh, okay, so she seems humorous.
But then Jess has been in Funhouse videos before. Jess is Adam's wife, and she's I think she's a streamer as well.
Yeah.
And she seems like a really nice lady as well. She's she's nice looking. She's a nice looking lass. And it's just that question of my immediate reaction when we were talking about the other day was, why would you risk something like that? I don't know why you would risk it.
I mean, I don't know why they would want to do it in the first place.
Less from Adam's case, because Adam, we don't really know if he's a pedo, but especially with Ryan, I don't know why you would risk this great big thing that you've built for the sake of what he's done. And it's like, it's just they've got one of the biggest communities on the internet, and it's just,
they've got only one of the biggest, one of the strongest. They've really worked hard to make sure that they interact with the community a lot, and they have this really good kind of events. Community based events. So it has kind of ruptured the community in that a lot of people don't really know what
what to think of it anymore.
Yeah.
I know there's a lot of people who, there's like a lot of fans who are sort of almost still going, well, surely the lasses need to be brought up,
Question,
because they were seeking, because I've seen most of the messages, and I think there was maybe one of them where she was being very emotionally manipulated by Ryan, whereas the other ones actively seemed like they were trying to get something out of him, which is kind of like, okay, so
there were also a lot of ones where they actually admitted that they had not directly lied, but made it appear that they were older than they were. And in that it's that thing where it's like they're still underage, and so that's
still wrong.
It's still wrong, but it's that thing of, do you blame them for almost lying about their age and not telling him that they were younger than what they should have been in order to have that kind of relationship with him? But I don't know, personally I don't really like, even though they were underage, I'm kind of like, well, if they were emotionally manipulated, then it's still
it's like
they're still the victims at the end of the day.
Oh, so I mean, I don't think either of us are going to sit here and even pretend that they're not the victims, because of course they are. But if you're one of these people who are actively seeking an older man from a young age, then you have to. I mean, the thing with the internet is, right, and this is why it's baffling that it's Adam and Ryan, because they're both in their 30s. Ryan's in his late 30s, Adam's in his early 30s, right? They've grown up as the internet's grown up, right? And the thing that some people don't fully understand is that the internet can be a very, very dangerous place. It's like not just for like men trying to make a career, but for lasses as well, young lasses who are just going on the internet. It's a dangerous place, and it's just, I would have thought two people like them knew that. You would think that they understood that. Why would you have a big drive full of nudes and stuff like that can be easily leaked or hacked? Do you know what I mean? And it's like, it's just,
especially when you have a big platform like that, with a lot of followers.
Where one picture, if it just one out of the 400 had liked, that still could have ruined their career.
Yeah.
And it's like,
especially if it was proven true. There were some people that were trying to say, well, it could have been photoshopped, but when...
Well, a lot of people said they were deep faked, that they'd had their faces painted on. But it was like, there's 400 of them. Is someone going to go through 400 pictures and videos, deep faking them?
The videos, I think, were the big things where it's like, right, okay, you can't, it's hard to deep fake a video. It's hard to deep fake a photo that looks convincing.
Yeah, but it's, some of them had that, it had Adam's tattoos on, and a lot of people said the body that's in it is identical to the naked body that you saw of Ryan in the $1 Million Spot episode where he was naked.
Yeah.
And it was like, okay, so they're not fake. They can't be fake. And it's that thing where I just, I mean, I don't particularly say I don't send nudes anywhere, but it's one of them.
It's a weird thing. Like, I feel like our generation were always taught that that's a bad thing.
Yeah.
It was made very clear, like, you do not, because when I was at school, obviously it's different. Like, we're two different. He goes 6 years older than me. When I was at school, it was like, it is illegal to distribute nudes. It's illegal to receive them. It's illegal to take them. Obviously, because we were underage mainly. So it was kind of engraved in our minds that it's a bad thing and that you shouldn't do it, and that's easy for it to be leaked. Yeah. Especially with the internet.
The thing is, if you're sending nudes to like a partner or a husband or wife
that you've been with for a number of years, and no one you can trust,
there's nothing wrong with that. Do you know what I mean?
If both are consenting as well, yeah.
But I just don't know why would you save them? Do you know what I mean? To a Google Drive they've been hacked in the past.
Accessed.
And it's like, it's mind-boggling to me now that, like I say, in this age of the internet, obviously everyone's trying to be famous on the internet now, ourselves included. We're not trying to be famous, we're trying to make actual videos.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's
why they would risk it.
Why they would risk it, yeah. It doesn't seem smart, and both of them seem like smart men. Well, they both seem like they weren't.
Both paid to be, yeah, you don't know, do
you?
you?
And it's
clearly not smart men if they,
Yeah, it's just, it's one of them things. And
like you hear about it happen all the time with just celebrities. Just celebrities who get the phones hacked.
Well, Chris Evans had his
and then a bunch of nudes leak just from, like having the phone hacked. It's like, if it's easy for people to do that, it's probably just as easy for them to hack a Google Drive with them, like hundreds of them saved. So
It was just weird. As a fan to sort of hear it all, you kind of sit there and you go, I never expected it. But it's one of them. It's one of them things where, like, as soon as you've seen it and as soon as your eyes have been open to it, you kind of go, oh, yeah. You can sort of.
You would kind of. Some of the jokes they made, again, it's that thing of when you watch old videos and you think about some of the jokes they used to make, you're kind of like, oh yeah.
And that's where, especially I think Funhouse, because it's Ryan, it's worse. It's Ryan, like we said, his character is like the loony one. But with Funhouse make a lot of adult jokes.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, where they take the mick out of sort of.
Yeah, they kind of
sensitive topics.
They're kind of ripping at a lot of stuff.
And it's like, they're not for, let's call them snowflakes, alright? They're not for people who are going to come out and go, you can't say that because we're offended.
Take it easy. Personally.
But it
makes it look a lot worse, especially for the likes of James.
Yeah.
Who's also made jokes like that. Now, I think there are a lot of, only a very small percentage, but there are some people that are going, well, James made similar kinds of jokes in this video. Is stuff going to come out about James? And it's like, it's a horrible situation.
You can't judge other people by what one person's done.
Yeah. Because they all made
fair.
those jokes.
Yeah.
And it's like...
That's the thing, Elise makes those jokes, the women make those jokes as well. It's not just the bloke making it. But obviously this does sort of... Like I say, it's just put a big, gigantic target on Rooster Teeth's head now from a lot of the fans basically going, well, is there anyone else that's like that?
Yeah, I think they are doing an investigation on everyone, which they should. With a job based around the internet, I feel like that should be a new thing they do. Everyone have to kind of have like a background check of like, has there been anything dodgy on them released? Has there been?
Yeah.
They should. It's difficult because you don't. Obviously,
doesn't have that we don't know everything that we should know about this as fans. You know what I mean?
And I just hope they do come out with something.
I think it's easier for us to sort of say because we're in the UK and it's an American-based company.
But it's different here because the legal age of consent here is 16, and even though technically you still kind of have to be 18 to get in a relationship with someone older, it's kind of frowned upon if they're 16. It is still legal.
Is the age of consent 16? I thought it was 18.
16 here.
Oh, that's awkward.
It is 16, which makes it different. It makes it different because.
I don't think I like that.
Yeah.
That's a bad thing in this country.
16-year-olds can get into relationships with people a lot older.
They often do.
And they do, yeah.
And I think that's another thing that a lot of younger lasses like that, and this is going to be one of them things that people sort of say, oh, Shaun, you're this, that, and the other. Is that a lot of lasses don't realise what kind of damage they can do to a man's life just by going out with them at that kind of age. So like there was a man up this part of the country in the north that got arrested for having sex with a lass that was younger than... No, the age of consent has to be 18. Must be 18.
No, because she was 15. I know who you're talking about, and she was 15 at the time.
So she was younger than 16. So this man had sex with this lass who must have been younger than 16, who was in a nightclub that's for 18s and over. And it was the man that got arrested, which is kind of like, well, in this scenario, what is her parents letting her go to a nightclub for? Who's giving her the fake ID to get in? The bouncers who are letting her in, even though she doesn't look anything like the ID that she's got. When you go to a nightclub, you don't. The first thing you say to a lass is not, "How old are you?" You know
because
what I mean?
You assume that they're 18.
Especially if you're drunk. If you're drunk, you just and you're seeing a pretty lass, and especially in this day and age where lasses who are like 15 and younger look ridiculously old.
I feel like that's
careful
just
with that green screen. What does that mean?
Yeah.
And it's in this day and age. I mean, I think Nicole, who's 6 years older than me, her generation.
I think Nicole looks younger than what she is.
Yeah, but her generation, when they were in the teenage years, looked like teenagers. I think they were the last generation because people in my school were like dressing up to look older than what they were.
That's the thing. It's like with girls, and like obviously this is a horrible thing to say, but it's alright. I can kind of say it.
You're allowed. You're a woman. I'm not.
I feel like with social media, what it's done is it's created the impression that you need to appear. It's made a lot of teenagers feel like they need to be older than what they are. There are a lot of teenagers that will go out of the way, like 11-year-olds, I'll say, who cake themselves in makeup for no reason other than it makes them feel older. And obviously, the issue with that is it makes them look older, definitely. And it kind of does create that thing of...
it's like
it's an awkward thing. They don't need it. A lot of the time, they don't need to wear makeup. Obviously, if it makes them, if it's like, I mean, they can wear makeup all they want, but
I mean, when I was 15, 16, I wasn't even thinking about that kind of stuff. I was like, I want to play football. I want to learn as much. Well, I never wanted to learn as much.
You didn't want to learn as much.
I wanted to sort of go out with my friends and not be like going out and drinking and stuff and all that crack. I wanted to go out and play football and mess around and do stupid things, but not like. I wasn't even remotely interested in relationships at that point.
But it's like me now. I'm 18. I don't wear makeup at all. I only wear makeup on a special occasion. I'm not really bothered about drinking. I know COVID and everything's happened, but even then, I don't think I'd be that interested. I'm just. It's different for me. I don't know, but
yeah, and obviously we've sort of segued a little bit away from Rooster Teeth, which we will come back to because I've still got to tell you that really awful thing.
No.
But it is that classic thing where, in those scenarios, right, the women, or I probably shouldn't even call them women, the lasses in those scenarios need to basically start looking at it from a point of view of, yes, this man's been a creep. Right, and I should say, okay, he's been a creep, fair enough. But if you're in a scenario where he doesn't know your age, you should absolutely be saying, I'm underaged. Yeah. And like, if then he still comes on to you, you should be like, okay, so he's a creep, and I'm gonna leave.
Yeah, that's why I think a lot of people appreciate the fact that they admitted to the fact that they did not lie but imply that they were older. Well, I guess you have to kind of think, well, is implying that also lying, but.
Yeah,
but at least they admitted to it and they took responsibility and they said, I know I shouldn't have done it.
Fair play to them, yeah.
And so at least, because I mean, they didn't have to. They could have just said, oh yeah, he knew.
They could have played just the basic victim, yeah.
They could have made it seem like they did tell them. So at least they admitted to it. I guess that's a decent thing.
Yeah, it's just obviously one of the horrible parts of it as well is that they all seem to have mental illnesses. Mm-hmm. Like, they were very vulnerable, which is probably why they were targeted. Yeah, it's just one of these awful sort of scenarios that the world just seemed as if 2020 wasn't bad enough. Do you know what I mean? And
honestly, that's happened a lot. It seems to be like YouTubers in general. Cancel culture, I guess, kind of became into, a thing in 2020.
All this is going to do is just add fire to the cancel culture fire.
It's just, I just don't get it. I don't like it. Fair enough, they deserve to be called out on it, but just cancel culture in general.
But when you think about it, there was Austin Jones a few years ago who was targeting younger lasses. Mm-hmm. There's been a few scandals on YouTube recently. Obviously, Logan Paul and Jake Paul are doing their best to ruin YouTube when they can.
Yeah.
But it's like I said, all this is going to do is bring.
I just want. I miss when YouTube was a community. When YouTubers were supportive of each other and there was none of this kind of hatred and animosity towards each other.
Yeah, feuds, beefs.
Diss
tracks.
I mean, we're British, so I guess it's an American thing, but yeah, it's just.
This is an American thing.
No, we don't say diss in this country. I wouldn't say I diss that person.
You used to say that all the time in school.
Did you?
Yeah.
I didn't.
I was back when I had my sunglasses on and my tie all the way down here. And
oh yeah, no, we had clip-on ties, so we couldn't be those kind of people.
One of the cool kids.
Yeah, we didn't diss people. I mean, you would I don't even know what we'd call it. Diss.
Well, the thing is, nowadays diss means that you make a track on it, but back then it used to just be when you insult someone.
Yeah, you diss someone. Yeah. I guess we don't. A lot of the time, you don't diss someone behind the back. Like when I was at school, no one dissed them behind the back. It was always to the face. It was always just beef to each other.
Beef? I think it's an American one. I think the beef's the American.
Beef is American, but
I would never say to someone, I've got a beef with you.
Yeah, we've got beef, yeah.
I would just say, sir, I do not approve of your methods. That's what I would say to someone if I was
with your moustache.
If I was causing if I was going to make a ruckus with someone, I would walk up to them and go, take the leatherette glove off and go, I challenge you to a duel, and then I would walk off. We're very sophisticated up here in the north. Yes. That's why this podcast
is extended and everything.
Yeah.
This is not sponsored.
This is not sponsored.
Should be though.
Blah, 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 blah. Right, so we're off about 44 minutes. I suppose what I'll tell you this, and then you can talk about it, and then we'll do a bit of an introduction. an introductory part that is, so we can talk about more of us. So you can.
We can talk about some nicer things.
Yeah. So the horrible thing that I was going to tell you about, because after this you'll probably want to talk about some nice things, because this is not very nice.
I don't want to hear the horrible thing.
So one of the things that came out with all the lasses about Ryan was that he was flying them out to Austin.
Mm-hmm.
Right. He lives in Austin. Some of them aren't from Austin, Texas, so he would fly them out. So as well as doing Rooster Teeth, he was streaming, and I'm not going to say what his gaming channel was because we're not going to do any kind of advertising for him.
Yep.
So he did streams and stuff where he played games and whatnot, and he was making money off that on the side.
Mm-hmm.
And what he was telling everyone at the time was all the money that he's making on his streams, all that extra money he's making, is going to a college fund for his kids. So he's got 2 kids. And all that money was going towards that college fund.
Yeah.
Now, as some of the proof and pictures that has come out has turned out, is he was actually using that money to fly women out to see him. Which is just awful. It's an awful thing. Because, not only are you lying to your audience about what you're doing with the money that they're giving you, it turns out that the fans that were watching him and tuning in were essentially paying for his booty calls with underage people. And it's just...
I don't like that.
That's just one of them things where as soon as you hear it, it just kills you inside.
Especially when his kids have been in streams.
I know, that's the thing. He's had his kids in streams before as well, hasn't he? And that's one of them things where it's come out and now he just seems like such an arsehole for what he's done. And it's like...
He doesn't seem like he is.
No, it's just... let's talk about something nice.
What should we talk about? Some nice things.
So if you're watching this and you haven't seen the introductory video,
some nice things.
We'll talk to you about what you can expect from the channel. We should have said what we're uploading this week when this video comes out because it's Sunday.
Oh yeah, should we do that?
We don't know what we're uploading.
You have it set up, don't you?
Yeah, but that was back before we made the changes.
Ugh.
So, what you can expect this week, tell them a little bit about what kind of videos we're making.
So, we're kind of doing an array. Is that the right word? An array of videos.
An array of videos, yeah.
So we do, obviously, podcasts. We do gaming videos, just daft little things. You might see Shaun by himself, you might see me by myself, you'll probably see us together. You might see family members in with us. We've done a few with our parents and, siblings.
Yeah.
Well, sibling.
We've only got one sister.
Well, Stephen, but he's brother-in-law.
He's a lot, I don't count him.
I just count him as
I don't count him!
We do trailer reaction videos and movie reaction videos. We have the old Gen, new Gen thing that we're doing.
Yeah.
We have reviews where we will I guess that's kind of the same thing, isn't it? We'll
review films as obviously we can't do that at the minute because we can't really.
There aren't really many
so we do things like if you haven't seen the introduction video, we do like gameplays, we do walkthroughs,
we do reactions
because we are jumping on the bandwagon. We'll do like sketches, and one of the things as well that we might need to say is why is it called World of Productions? Why is it not just Katie and Shaun or Shaun and Katie or whatever?
Katie and Shaun.
The reason we called it World of Productions was the idea was we want to build like a company out of it, don't we?
Yeah, like a production company.
Yeah, which is awful because we did base it on Rooster Teeth, which is something that.
Well, that was our inspiration. We did kind of come up with our own.
Yeah.
Originally, the plan was for us to have 3 channels: World of Productions, World of Movies, and World of Games. And it wasn't all just going to be based on this one channel, but obviously I work. And you work. Not only do I work over the weekends as well, which makes it awkward. So
we basically moved everything to one channel, didn't we?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The time was sort of like we're recording this on a Tuesday, when before we were recording Saturday, Sunday,
and
Friday.
So it does, that's basically.
So it's one of these, so we're gonna. We
do game shows as well. We have a few.
We're gonna do game shows. We are working on a series as well, an original series. I'm writing it. You're gonna direct it. Well, we're both writing it, aren't we?
Yeah. Writing and directing. Which I'm looking forward to. I feel like that's probably my favourite one so far. Just because I can't wait to see you dressed up. It's gonna be fun.
I'm looking forward to
basically
getting my makeup done.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can I do it? I'm doing it, aren't I?
God, yeah.
No, because you can trust me. I can.
I thought women did their own makeup.
But you're not a woman.
I am in the series.
Yeah, but I mean, if it's in the series, you can do your own makeup. But chances are, when it's not for the series, I'm going to be doing it.
Fine.
It's fine.
So we are working on that,
yeah.
and there is also one that I'm trying to work on. I'm trying to do like an animated style thing.
Which is a nightmare because animation's not as easy
Bloody
to do.
bugger to do.
And we do vlogs and like behind the
We
scenes
do
stuff.
vlogs. We've got a series that I'm going to do on a vlog series as well.
Yeah. I was working out.
Yeah, me trying to get fit, get rid of this pouch. So we are going to upload every day, and it'll be a mix of stuff. We're going to do a podcast every Sunday. That's when that's coming on.
Canny talk.
A Canny talk. But that's the kind of stuff that you can expect. Obviously, I'm a gigantic nerd. I know everything nerdy.
Yeah, I'm a.
You're more of a Marvel nerd.
In process nerd.
Yeah.
Kind of processing. I need like one of those, like
loading bars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of those things. Loading, yes.
So you can expect a bunch of silly gameplays where we're like playing. Well, especially me, where I'm playing a stupid bunch of free games that are easy to get.
I have a series of me just playing Telltale
He's going to play a bunch of Telltale games. Once you've run out of Telltale games, I'll get Katie to play some older games that you can react to.
Which you will learn. I am not a gamer. Not even close, so don't hate me for it. Don't judge me, okay? I don't play games. I'm here to talk about Marvel and that's it.
Yeah, but we also have like try not to laugh videos that we're going to do.
Which we failed at immensely, except for 1 or 2, maybe.
I know 2 that I definitely failed at because they're both TikTok, and TikTok is a pile of turd. But then we're doing things that we're eating foreign things, and that's disgusting and it's awful.
Yep. Not always.
Oh,
there was some. The American one was very similar to, I feel like, the kind of stuff we have over here.
Yeah.
Yeah. We did a Japanese one, which was terrifying.
Yeah. So we'll say this week, obviously this video is coming out on Sunday. You'll have our introductory video that comes out before that, which isn't going to really be anything. It's got a funny thing in that I've made.
It's got a little bit in, like a little but it's not.
So this week you can see. Right, this is what we're going to do. On Monday, we're going to release the first Call of Duty video.
Yes.
That's going to feature me, my mum, and Nicole being idiots. On Tuesday, you can see us reviewing Tenet, which came out recently. On Wednesday, you can see us trying not to laugh at. What was the first one? WWE. Try not to laugh video. You'll see us trying not to laugh at something. Then, what day was that?
Wednesday.
And on Thursday, you'll see me and Katie being geniuses conquering the room, which is a game. Well, I was the genius, Katie didn't really do anything. Then on, what was that Thursday? Friday. On Friday, you're going to see us watching Highlander and reviewing that, which was fun. Then on Saturday, what can I do on Saturday? Saturday, you can see
injury.
Yeah.
We can do an injury one. We have an injuries.
You can see us react our bloody reaction to bloody. I said bloody too many times. You can see our reaction to.
What was it? WWE first?
No, UFC. I deleted the WWE one because it wasn't very good.
Oh, UFC.
So you can see us reacting to a bunch of UFC injuries, although they're not really injuries. They were
killing each other.
And then on Sunday, obviously, you'll get the podcast again. And then next Sunday, we'll tell you what videos that we're releasing that week. Another thing we're going to do as well is, as we go on, we're going to release on a certain day. We haven't decided what day yet. You'll get a compilation of certain things, whether it's weekly, monthly.
It's going to be funny.
We haven't decided. Hopefully, it's going to be funny. But yeah, you will see us. See us in all glory. We can't tell you when you're going to have things like the series, because we're still writing them.
I think probably chances are we're probably going to record them all before we release them. Is that it? Yeah. And then release it as though we're actually a series.
So they're all going to be recorded, as is the case with film series, anyway. We're going to record it all, edit it all,
and then release
it all.
When we choose.
So you can see that. Well, we can't tell you when you're going to see that. That's the point. But I promise that next week on the podcast we will do something a lot more cheery.
Yeah. What should we talk about? I feel like it should be something fun.
A dog. Special guest next week. We'll have our dogs with us. So you can get to look at their cute faces. We'll put them on my desk.
Well, if you can see their faces, because they need a haircut.
Yeah.
So
they can't see yours, but you can see yours. And yeah, so should we leave it there? 54 minutes.
I mean, that's a good.
The first
that was
podcast.
more of a rant.
Yeah.
We apologise to any of you fellow Rooster Teeth fans out there.
Sorry if we've upset any fans that still think Adam and Ryan are innocent. Sorry if we offended anyone that's snowflake.
Or triggered anyone that's experienced anything of this. We
obviously, we might leave it. Should we leave a link? Should we leave a link for? I don't know. Yeah, obviously.
Link to what?
Obviously, we don't want to upset anyone who has also been.
Obviously, we just talked about this because we are, in fact, fans.
We are fans.
And we will we'll be talking about stuff we are passionate about, likely in the podcast. So.
We've also got in the series that we're doing is something called All Things Nerdy, which is where we talk about
nerdy
a lot
things.
more nerdy things, which is why I'm trying to avoid doing that in these because we don't want to make two videos of the same thing. But in the podcast, we are going to get guests on as well to sort of talk about certain things.
We're going to try to. It's probably going to be hard at the minute because with COVID and everything, but chances are you're going to be seeing our parents and our siblings and dogs.
Well, you can do that on Discord. You can get Discord, that's easy enough. You don't know what that is.
I know what Discord is, but can you record Discord?
Yeah.
Oh, well then, fair enough.
Same way we record gameplays. As long as the app's open.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, that'll be the end of this first episode. What do you think about the? I don't know what to call it. The Rooster Teeth scandal, I guess. Let us know down in the comments. And
subscribe.
Is there anything you want us to talk about? Because I can smell sausages.
I think Mum's cooking sausages.
Must be cooking something. It smells like sausages. So yeah, let us know down in the comments, and thanks for watching. That was a Canny talk. I need to know.